it's basically it's basically a very simple solutions wherein you can give water for people who cannot afford to buy the device. In that way, if you look at the topic, it's a little difficult. People would have been wondering, what's this doctor talking about? Independence, terahertz, and water. But at the end of the day, it's a very beautiful journey that I have been preparing for this evening's talk from, I think it was around 4 o'clock. I started, finished my consultation, then started. Then I just completed it around 7 o'clock. I just finished it,
Wow.
prepared the slides, and then I came in here, had a shower, had my dinner, and I said, okay, with full of energy, I'm back here to give you the a glimpse of what exactly today I'm going to talk. So let me get into the slides first, and then of course you will be able to see what exactly is all about. I don't need to go into the details of what I'm doing, and Madam Lee, you have been a great soul, in a fantastic introduction. Thank you very much. But my medical, the number of years, the medical experience is something which I think I used every bit of my medical experience to uplift not only myself but to uplift my knowledge and the expertise in giving an option for people to heal their body. See, at the end of the day, you are not if you are going to just treat a disease, there is no end for the disease to be treated. As very simple, you all know that diabetes has been there here for almost 40-50 years, where people were having diabetes. I think in 1980s, even my grandmother had a diabetes, and the treatment has been going on. But today, if you look at the way it's exponentially grown, in fact, with all the latest equipments, gadgets, information sharing, diabetes should have come down, isn't it? Now it has not come down for the reason, that's the way I have gone inside to the epigenetics to find out how can we help the patient to reverse the diseases. So now my area of interest is how do we reverse a disease. So coming back to this epigenetic, it's a very beautiful science by itself. Probably in the future, every one of you will get into this particular field called epigenetics, which is more of nutrition, the way of lifestyle, and supporting your body according to what it needs. It's not just blindly, like for example, you're a diabetic. What happens when you come to me, or a normal doctor, when you go to get a treatment for a diabetes, is he is going to focus on the disease. That means he will give you medication, and then you are supposed to take the medication, and when you go back and see him, you will probably, if the sugar levels are, there are few criterias. If it's low, the doctor will say continue the treatment. But never in your life you would have seen a doctor stopping the medication for you, because invariably he will say there are other complications which might trigger up, so hence do not stop, so please continue the medication, maybe at the lower dose. It's all fine. But when you look at the diabetes by itself, it's something which you need to look into. What you eat, what you put inside your mouth is what you are. When you say that, if you can change the way the food what you're eating and your lifestyle, if you can reduce the amount of stress in your life and go for a little bit of exercise in your life, I think your diabetic control will be very good. So in that way, we all need to change. Now whether you like it or not, we have to change the way we are living. And you will agree with me that in the past 1.5 years, what did COVID teach us? COVID has just taught us nothing but you can have a simple life without going to the malls, without going for outings, without going to holidays, without doing all that. You still can live on this planet Earth by having your meal probably once in a day or twice in a day, but still you can live. The number of clothings you need for your, probably in this whole 1.5 years I would have used maybe around 5 to 6 cloths, that's it, just repeat it. And I never wore shoes at all, because in a Zoom like this, where you people are going to see my shoes, so we don't wear shoes also. Even the pants, basically we use an ordinary pant, not even the regular pants as a doctor when we used to wear. So what has happened is we have cut down many unwarranted expenses, unwanted clothing, and unwanted outing, and unwanted going to restaurants to eat your food. All these has cut. So when you look at, when life has shown you, COVID has shown you this kind of information, now what has happened is a lot of people have become independent in doing things, because when you're looking at the situation, there are a lot of things you need to do on your own. That's where we are talking about independence. So now, as in general, most of us, when it comes up to be health, is where we will be wondering, how am I going to become healthy? What is that I'm going to do? Because in the internet there are a lot of information. You will get confused. It may work for you, it may not work for you. Now, there can be situations where when people are talking about Terahertz water, they would have told you drink this water, your diseases can be coming down, or your diabetes will get healed, whatever. But what's happening is, you would have been consuming the water for some time, and then you will feel that, hey, nothing is happening. All right. Now, that is when you need to understand that it's not just one thing your body is looking at. There are many things. So what's happening is, you need to take certain situations of picking up the information. Now that's where we are all on this platform, where we are giving you this free service, wherein we are giving you this knowledge so that you pick it up. For me, sharing this knowledge is the most happiest moment of my life, and I enjoy it. Even though I spend almost 4 to 5 hours preparing for the slides, preparing how to give, what information to be given, and whether I'm giving the right information, all these play a very important role. So in that way, it's a lot of responsibility I need to take. But what's happening is, you need to understand that you need to have a protocol. It's called pot-o-call. So wherever the potholes are there, you need to clear it up and then start working on this journey to fulfill your path of life. Now, this is a very simple slide. I think every one of you will agree. We are all on this earth competing. Competing for what? Number one, of course, it's the money, it's the dollars. How much do you earn? The second one, very important, the energy. Now, what energy are they talking? It's the energy after you eat your food, what kind of energy your physical body has. That's one energy. Huh? There's another energy. That's basically your auric fields. That means your mind energy. How powerful is it? That plays a very important role. The third one is time. How much time do you have? How much time can you? If you ask most of the people, even during this COVID time, what will they say? Do you go for exercise? What they will say? No, doctor, no time. I'm busy. Even to come to this platform or here on this Zoom meeting, most of them are busy in some way or the other way. I don't deny that, of course, they will be really busy. But if you really think that this is important, I need to pick some information, you have to spare your time. Like what I did for the past 43 weeks, I allocated this time exclusive for the Terahertz people and the beautiful souls who are coming down here to listen. I allocated the time, I spared the time, and I'm here. That's it. Whether anybody is going to come or not, even if one person is coming and sitting here, I would definitely give my presentation here. So time is so important that you need to allocate the time for the right situation, the right things in your life. You need to allocate time. Of course, the fourth and the fifth is your food and water is very important. Now when you look at the whole picture, everything plays a very important role. It's a collective holistic approach you need to have. Even though you have to compete for all these four together for you to live on this planet earth, you definitely have to look at how are you going to allocate the time for earning money, how are you going to allocate the time for creating a positive energy, eating the right food and making your physical body more stronger, then allocating the time for what you need to do, then the food what you're going to eat, and the water what you're going to drink. Now this is where, when it comes up to water, it's very easy. We can talk about Terahertz water. But on the dollar side, if you see, of course, on one side our company has given an option for you to not only procure the instrument device, and then probably look into a business part of it, wherein you can generate some income indirectly by recommending the product and then building your own network. That is where it's called the network marketing. But at the end of the day, it's all you need to earn a decent money for you to move forward in your life. But for me as a doctor, what I would concentrate on the benefits of this water, because that's where you are all looking at how do I get the benefit. Now this is where I'm coming in and sharing this beautiful journey. Now what is basically independence? If you can look at the, of course you can go to the Google and see what it is. It's a freedom from being governed or ruled by another country or another king or another people. Or it can be defined as an independence is a condition of a person or a nation or a country or a state in which the residents and the population or some portion thereof exercise self-government. That means you do things on your own, and usually with sovereignty and in its own territory. Now that's what is independence. And incidentally, in Malaysia we celebrated the independence on the 31st of August. Now when you're looking at independence, we look at freedom. Now this is what we are looking at. Now free to do what you like to do. That's what is called freedom. Now you're all here on this platform, and it's amazingly very easy, right? Now imagine if we are going to put a clause and a little law for every one of you. That means you won't have freedom, and definitely you wouldn't like even to come inside and then listen to it, because we are restricted. But our ancestors, our grandfathers, we all were like slaves to the people who are ruling us. That's one part of it. But today, are you free with your own self? This is a very, very important thing all of you should look into. How many of you are independent? Of course, everybody will raise your hand and say, hey, I'm independent. Of course, you are independent. Fantastic, isn't it? Now, the beauty is, what I'm talking about independent is when you split this beautiful word in and dependent. Now, what are you dependent? Are you dependent inside with the spirit in you is what I am looking at. Because the only way you can be a survivor on this platform earth is when you depend on the inside spirit. The, you can call it as a soul or an atma or whatever you want to, but at the end of the day, it's your inward journey which can take you to a longer way. That means you become independent from inside. The moment you are independent from inside, it's a guaranteed life outside. Everything falls in place, everything will be according to what you want, everything will fall in place. And the most beautiful part is you will start walking your journey in bliss. This is what we all want. Everybody wants to be in peace, right? You want in peace is, of course, outside everything will be chaotic. You, and it's not under your control. But what is within your control, you definitely can look into it and see how you can make your journey much more beautiful by looking within. But you have to look outside as well. Now, how is that outside? Even in being an independent person, you still have to come here on this platform to listen to what I'm talking. Probably you need to listen to what other people are talking about the business. You need to come out. That is external. So what you need to do is be prepared from the inside and collect all what you need from the external, whatever you need. You want to go from one place to another, of course you need a car. You need to talk to another person who is in a different country or in a different state, you still need a mobile phone. These are all external. But when you're internally at peace, everything starts falling in. Be it your business also, even the Terahertz business, what you're doing, you need to be in peace before you give the water to others, speak about the device to others. You need to be in peace. So look at the independence. So you need to be dependent on the spirit inside you, which makes you life more easier. Now, what has Terahertz to do with this independence? Of course, this is a question everyone will be looking forward. Definitely there is a link between the independence and the Terahertz water molecule. But for those who are all probably new or who are already here, is Terahertz is a wave which is in between the microwave and the infrared. Very simple. It's a low frequency wave and it is between. Now what happened to all this Terahertz wave all the while? Nobody had known, is it? They knew it in 1980s itself that there is something called Terahertz. The only thing is they didn't give much importance to it, because that time they were talking about the radio frequencies, they were talking about the microwaves, the infrared, then the X-rays, the gamma rays, all were very popular. But today this particular concept of terahertz has come into vogue, and our company is privileged to be the first company in the world to come out with a resonator using terahertz technology. That's amazing. Now, when you're looking at areas where this terahertz can be used, is of course it can be the first thing what we are all using, and you are using the water is a resonated water with the terahertz device. Of course, customs people are using the terahertz device. Medical field will in the future be using this terahertz device. Now, when you're looking at terahertz concept of picking up cancers from the brain or from any tissue is much higher rate and earlier you can pick up when you're using a terahertz technology. Whereas now even with the MRI technology, we may miss certain times the cancer cells or the diseases in advance. But in terahertz technology, you will be able to pick it up well in advance of 2 to 3 years to 5 years in advance. You can pick it up when it is just small. So the treatment becomes much more easier. Now, other than that, the X-ray, what we are using left and right, when you go to a doctor to take an X-ray of your chest or your body or for bones, definitely the amount of radiation is still safer. That's what they say. It's still safer. But when you use terahertz technology for the same X-rays, the exposure of that particular rays is so minute that it doesn't affect any of your cells. So that is an advantage. Other than that, of course, you know now the 5G is going on. Next will come, see, we are still yet to get a full 5G phones used. Probably by December only things will be settled in Malaysia where we all can use 5G. But already in China they have started using 6G phones, and there are something especially in European countries, they are doing a research of 8G already for the mobile phones. They are already doing the research on that. Now in that way, terahertz is going to be the sixth generation wherein we are talking about terahertz technology for your mobile phones. So when you're using a mobile phone, definitely the radiation is much less. Other than that, of course, the airline industries, when they use a terahertz technology, the distance from the plane to the ground can be measured with using a terahertz wave is much easier and much accurate. Now saying that, what exactly is this terahertz resonator or a wave generator? It is basically when you put the machine on the inside the jug and then on the water. Now what happens? Any liquid can be resonated by using this terahertz technology. Now what is that you need to know before you even look into the terahertz technology and the water is, the water to be resonated must be clean and filtered with minerals. Very important. Huh? When you're looking at reverse osmosis, of course it is something wherein we are talking about a bland water, but if you can add on some minerals to it, will be the best. Other than that, you need to use the silicone jug provided by the company for you to resonate the water, for the reason, of course, when you look at convenience, it's much more easier. You put this one on a 5-liter can and then you can resonate it. It is done by many when we don't have a facility, because a jug, you need to use it, means you need to carry the jug everywhere and then collect the water, you resonate it and then once again pour it into the your what is that, your 5-liter can. Now what is a drawback probably you and I are facing is the pricing of the jug is so expensive that we cannot just buy another jug. Can you believe the jug what our company is giving it to you is, the pricing they have priced it is around 450 ringgits is for the one jug, 450 ringgits. Now why is it so expensive? Probably because it is a silicone infused jug which highest quality, wherein definitely it's much safer. When you resonate the water inside, it is fully resonated. That means the water gets the best exposure to the resonance of the terahertz. Now when that happens, what happens? The molecular structure of the water goes to the maximum. That means it's much more stable. This is what you need to understand, why the company has given a jug. The company could have just prepared the unit and then told you you can use any particular container for you to terahertz, but they didn't do that. Now they came out with a jug. Now the reason is because of the material what they used in this jug is something very unique, that it retains the power of the terahertz when you resonate the water. So water when resonated with the terahertz, it becomes independent. Now can you see the word, the independent comes in here, because you can see the water molecule single, independent. That is where my independent water terahertz came into the picture. I just gave the title, but later on I realized that I gave the right title. So it becomes independent. Now when you look at on the left side, the clusters of water is not independent because they are all in clusters. When you look at our terahertz resonated water, it is the independent water molecule with single line of, in a linear manner it stands. So that what happens, the most beautiful part is, can you see the aquaporine, which is the cellular wall wherein the water goes inside and comes out? It is called aquaporine. Can you see the single molecules coming in happily, coming inside? Now this is where the independence of the water molecule is by this beautiful technology called Terahertz technology. Now when this independence is given to the water, the advantage what you get is, definitely we get the cellular hydration is at its best. Now just imagine yourself that we have 50 trillion cells. Now out of the 50 trillion cells, if 30 trillion cells are very healthy, with the right amount of water, the right amount of hydration, with the right amount of nutrition, can you believe the nutrition what you and I need per day is 92 vitamins, minerals, trace elements, then your carbohydrates, your proteins, all together put together is 92, and water is one among them. Now imagine, because I see a lot of people asking me, doctor, I've been drinking this water for so long but I didn't see any benefit. It's not just drinking this water is going to give you the benefit, but when you look at the situation where holistically you take care of your food habits, what you eat, nutritious food you eat, and very important is the vegetables. Do you clean the vegetables with the, of course terahertz water is something so useful that you can use it for cleansing the pesticides which has already been sprayed to the vegetables, so that the worms and the flies doesn't attack them, and then the quality of the thing is not compromised. What happens, they use pesticides, but when they use pesticide, it is of course minimal amount they will be using, but at the end of the day, if you do not clean the pesticides from the vegetables and you are consuming it every day little by little, now this is where the poisoning happens. So all of you should understand that when you are 50-year-old and you have been eating the food for the past 50 years of life, you have been eating vegetables or non-vegetarian, you should understand that you will be consuming poison little bit by little bit, and then at 50 years, of course some people will be exhibiting the symptoms of cancer, some people with autoimmune diseases, some people with diseases which we don't even know the names and we don't have a treatment. So like that the situation comes because without our knowledge there are a lot of things happening in our body. So when you look at the journey of every cell in our body, it really needs a proper consumption of water, proper nutrition, proper regular blood circulation. Blood circulation should be good. Other than that, oxygenation, very important. So how do you breathe? If you are breathing right, definitely you should be able to at least energize yourself. Now why is that so many people were dying in COVID, and especially when it attacks the lungs, they cannot even survive? Now what's happening there? Because your lung has never been exercised before. You have never done the practice of breathing in, holding the breath, consciously. If you are breathing in properly, you can breathe in 3 times per minute, but normally you and I will be breathing 15 times per minute. But if you can consciously cut down, slow down, taking deep breath for 10 seconds, then for 10 seconds you are going to hold the breath, and then 10 seconds you are going to leave the breath, it's almost 30 seconds. Or 5 5 10 is 20 seconds. That means 3 times you will be breathing in 1 minute. Now these are all simple things. What you need to understand is you have to work for your cells, because these beautiful cells are like individual universe. So that means you have 50 trillion universe inside you. But what you and I are seeing is outside the outside. What universe we are talking? We are talking about the 9 planets. We are talking about the universe outside, the space we are talking. but there is an inner universe within us. Each cell is an amazing universe wherein it has its own beautiful factories of doing things. It looks so simple. Can you see the cell looks so simple? Of course, with one nuclei, one mitochondria, and one. All these are there inside. But how does it function? Have you ever thought of it? One cell. If you can visualize that one cell, how it functions, you will be mesmerized that in your body you have so many cells and everybody are doing their own duties in their own little beautiful ways. So when that is the responsibility of each cell, what is your responsibility? What are you doing? What is that you can do the best for your own self? So what is happening? Now when you're talking about terahertz, the independent water molecule, when it gets resonated by a terahertz device, what are the benefits you're going to get? Definitely the properties of this particular water is something amazing, which definitely will help you to be antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, antioxidant effect, anti-radiation effect, and of course it has got the viscosity of the lowest is it, here I have made a mistake. It's not 620, it's 680. I just picked up the old slide and put it here. It's 680, and of course it increases the angulation of the water molecule from 3 to 5 degrees extra. So that itself will help your water to have the best capability of absorption of all the minerals from the food what you eat. It can be absorbed, and definitely the absorption is much better, and your BMR will increase. So if you want to increase your better basal metabolic rate, definitely when you consume this water it will increase the that means the metabolic function of the cells will be much better. Now when this is where even today when Frankie had come, he was talking to me and asking, hey doctor, how is that diabetes when you drink this water and your blood sugar levels goes down after some time? So what I gave the best example for them is, now just imagine that you have 100 cells functioning in your body, but out of that only 30 to 40 cells are working, the remaining 50 cells are not working. So let us assume 50% not working because there is less of water, less of nutrition. Now you're drinking the terahertz water. What happens is basically your blood thickening can come down when you're drinking this water. That means it becomes a little more fluid. Your blood flow will be much more smoother because of the viscosity of the water. It can be much smoother. So when the viscosity is much more smoother, you will be able to understand that the vessels are open up, and then it can penetrate into smaller vessels. That means it can reach to cells which probably they were not receiving the amount of water which it was supposed to. Now after drinking this water, it starts moving there. Now when the other remaining 50 cells of your body starts working, now they also need glucose, right? So what will happen is the glucose what is there in your blood is being utilized by the remaining 50 cells which were not functioning because of the lack of nutrition or the water. Now automatically when this particular water goes in, the cells start functioning, they use the glucose. Now the moment they use the glucose, what happens in your blood level? If for the 50 cells, if your blood glucose is around probably around 10, what will happen is when the remaining 50 cells are also started functioning, your sugar level from 10 will drop down to probably 6 or 7 automatically, because the sugar is being utilized by the cells. Now this is a concept. It is not the water which has done a miracle by making your diabetes low. No, what has happened is the mechanism is slightly different. The benefit you get after you consume this water, definitely you get a lot of good benefits. Now what are the benefits you get by drinking this independent water? Of course we all love being independent, right? In the same way, what is happening is the water also loves to be independent. When the water is independent, what is the advantage is, number one, you get the better hydration. Now 80%, 70 to 80% of the world population are dehydrated. It's a very sad state. We have 3/4 of the water all around the earth, but still, why is that people are not hydrated well? Very simple reason. Most of the people, especially in the urban areas, what we are all doing is we are so busy working on the computers, busy with our work, that we forget to drink water. Now this is where you need to really understand that If you're supposed to drink 3 liters of water, please carry 1.5 liters and 1.5 liters. That is 2 bottles of 1.5 liters of water. Keep it with you and see to that by the end of the day when you come back home, both the bottles should have been completed. This is how you need to discipline yourself so that you know that you're drinking sufficient amount of water. But most of the time, because of our time schedule, the tight busy schedule, what is happening is we'll be drinking only half a liter of water or maximum maybe 1 liter of water. When your body is looking forward for 3 liters of water and you're giving the body only 1 to 1.5 liters of water, what you want the body to do? Definitely the dehydrated cells will die. But once the cell die, they cannot recoup, they cannot regrow. Now, who is responsible for this? You are responsible for it because you are not drinking the water. The cells will do their job, but you need to work to allocate some time for you to drink water. Now, other than the hydration, what is happening is for a better cellular health, you need this particular water. Of course, what will happen when the better cellular health means your cells, every cell, I'm talking about 50 trillion cells, every cell becomes more healthier. Other than that, if you're eating probably a carrot or any vegetables, what will happen when you're drinking this water? Automatically the nutrition is absorbed well. Of course, people will ask me, doctor, we buy the vegetables in pasamalam, then how? Of course, whatever you get, you eat. Everybody cannot be affording to buy organic vegetables for you to eat because it's very expensive. But at the end of the day, even the nutrition whatever you are getting in pasamalam, but at least clean it properly. And then of course you are not supposed to cook the vegetables and to the fullest possible, because you are supposed to boil it with only 40 degrees of temperature of your stove, 40 degrees, and then you need to cook only 50%, that means half cooked. Now this is where you can retain the nutrition for you to be consumed. But most of us would have boil the food, especially the Indian community will be using a cooker in their house wherein they will be fully boiling the vegetable where it loses all the nutrition. But it is always better that you eat half cooked. But if possible, you can eat raw vegetables, whichever vegetable you are able to consume, please consume it as raw as possible. There are few groups of people who call themselves Rotarian, R-A-W, Tarian, Rotarian. Why do they call themselves a Rotarian? Is they are eating vegetables and fruits raw. So what they will do, collect all the vegetable, put it in a blender, just blend it up and then drink it up. That's it. Minimum 5 times in a day they will be drinking that particular, but you won't believe they are much more healthier, they are much more stronger because they are eating raw vegetables and fruits. But most of the 80%, like 80% of the population, we are used to eating cooked food. But if there is an option for you all to change the way you are cooking into 50% low heat, 50%, can you believe we are talking about the terahertz water, which is a low frequency? In the same way, the normal gas stove what you and I are using, it is 120 degrees temperature minimum, that is, and it can go up to 180 to 200 degrees. But on the other side, you are supposed to cook your vegetables or cook your food at 40 degrees. How many of you can do that? Now there is only one option we have, that is if you are buying an induction cooker, that has got a temperature control and you can lower the temperature to 40 degrees. But how many of you are using the induction cooker? I love using an induction cooker because once I knew the concept of the heat and the boiling of vegetables at 50%, then I started we are using the infrared. Now other than that, what happens? Better absorption of nutrients, better removal of toxic waste. Now many of you, I have come across people after consuming our terahertz water, their stools have been black, urine smelly. All this happens because there is a lot of waste products being thrown out. Now many times people think that just drinking this water, toxic metal, toxic waste are being thrown out, but it may be that they do have cleared the toxic waste, but at the cellular level there might be still stuck, so which requires a proper detox mechanism. That's when we come in and then we'll be able to guide you. But just drinking the water, it will help you to remove the toxic waste to a limited extent. Other than that, better oxygenation. So better oxygenation facility will be there if your water, especially our terahertz resonated low frequency water, when you're drinking, there is better oxygenation. Now this people would have noticed that, especially when you play games, before and after drinking the terahertz water, you will be able to, your endurance is much better. So that is an advantage. Then better circulation, better gut health, better sleep. Now like this I can go on listing umpteen number of areas where by drinking the terahertz water you will get the benefit. But what I would like to request every one of you is, you need to prepare your body holistically. You need to work holistically. Nothing is just like with one particular thing and then everything starts falling in place. It doesn't happen. So look into your life also holistically, but you need to be more dependent where independent. So you need to be independent so that you will be able to get the outside world information and the benefits more easily, because you are always prepared. Now what is the take home message I would like to give is, just like the terahertz water being independent, you also must be independent in your life, aligned with your spirit inside you. This is very important. The moment you do that, everything starts falling in place, and there are a lot of beautiful benefits you can achieve. And not only will you be able to live a legacy on this platform earth, when you are no more on this platform earth, we can live something for the future generation wherein they will be able to live a proper life. Definitely each one of us, like a single droplet, like the terahertz water being independent droplet which can penetrate into our aquaporin cells more easily, we as an individual, we all can do a great job by being independent and trying to help through the circle of oneness among the human beings. We all can do a great job. Now before I close down, there's a word of caution I need to let you all know. You need to be a little more alert when you're talking about it. What is that? This particular device is not at all a medical device, so do not promote giving promises for diseases and its cure. Please don't do that, because I have come across a lot of people coming and telling me, doctor, they told me that diabetes will go away, blood pressure will go away. Now this is something wherein you always please recommend terahertz water for living on planet earth, for your existence. Drink water. You are not here to drink water to cure a disease. So your job is to recommend the water so that there are a lot of good benefits. Now among the good benefit, if they are going to get the health benefit, it's an advantage, it's a bonus for them. Second, always use a filtered water only for resonating this particular water. You to using the device, you need to use a filtered water. Now resonate at least 2 times, that means 6 minutes, to get the best results of the terahertz device. Do not use cheap plastic bottles for resonating the water. Please use a good quality plastic bottle, so that when you resonate it will be much more easier. But as I always said, use the jug, then pour the water into your 5-liter cans after resonating. But many times you may be saying, doctor, I cannot do this because time consuming. But for you, if you're looking at, you want to recommend something, please do this. It will definitely help you to move forward. And do not leave the resonated water in your car, especially in a hot sun. Do not leave your resonated water when you want to probably pass it on to someone. As soon as possible, please deliver the water to the particular person whom you are giving. Do not leave it and go around, because we do have seen that the efficacy can come down if it is exposed to the sun. Last but not the least, do not drink too much or too less water. Definitely both are not. So that means you need to have a balanced journey for drinking the water. So how much is the water you are supposed to drink? Please multiply your weight into multiplied by 42. That is an ideal amount of water you need to drink per day for the whole day. So you need to multiply 42 into your body weight. You will get the amount of water you need to drink. And please do drink that particular amount of water which you need to drink for that particular day is ideal, so that every cell start functioning much more beautifully. Now, finally, thought for the week, which I am going to say is, mind is basically an ocean. Definitely, yes. Now, what you feed, what what consumes your mind controls your life. So this is where the independence plays such a very important role in every one of life, that we would like to, have a balanced lifestyle and a balanced journey wherein we have everything in balance, right from financial to everything. When it is in balance, you would love every moment of this on planet earth. Saying that, until I come back to with another topic for the next week, I think every Sundays will be ideal, because no rushing now. I'm also very happy with this particular timing. So see you all next week. Until then, have a fantastic weekend ahead, and then God bless you and bless you in abundance. What you need to do, share the information, care for the fellow human beings, and you dare to be different. This is what is a message for you all for this week. So until I see you, have a fantastic week. Madam Lee, over to you.